Hooker saves Millionaire from an armed robbery, but he couldn't stop coming back. The night was heavy, almost suffocating. The streets were too quiet, too dark, the kind of place where even the headlights of a luxury car looked nervous. Michael Parker, a millionaire with the kind of face people recognized from business magazines, gripped the leather steering wheel of his silver Mercedes. He shouldn't have been there, he knew it. But he had promised himself he would find his old friend tonight, no matter where the trail led. As he slowed near a flickering streetlight, a young woman stepped forward. She was striking dark skin, big brown eyes that carried both fire and exhaustion, and a tight red dress that told its own story. "Lost, honey?" she asked, leaning into the window with a half-smile that didn't reach her eyes. Michael cleared his throat. "I'm looking for someone. A friend who used to live around here. You know Jefferson Avenue?" Her laugh was soft but hollow. "Jefferson? That's 2 blocks over, but trust me, you don't want to take that turn alone." She tilted her head, then added, "For a little gas money, I can show you." Michael hesitated. He wasn't naive. But something in her tone, maybe the way she said "trust me," made him unlock the passenger door. "Get in," he said. The woman slid into the seat, smoothing her dress nervously. "Name's Alana," she said quietly. Before Michael could reply, a shadow lunged from the alley. The window glass caught a distorted reflection of a man raising a gun. "Out! Both of you!" the thief barked. His voice cracked with anger or fear. Michael's chest tightened. He lifted his hands slowly. Alana froze, her breath coming fast. The thief's eyes darted toward her. "You! Search him," the man ordered, motioning to Michael. Alana's hands trembled. She turned to Michael, her lips quivering. Their eyes met, just for a second, and he saw it. She didn't want this. She didn't want any of this. I don't think he has anything," she stammered. "Check," the thief snapped, pressing the gun closer. Michael whispered, so low only she could hear, "Do what you have to. Just don't be afraid." Alana swallowed hard. Her hand hovered near his jacket pocket, but she didn't reach in. Instead, she slammed her palm against the steering wheel, hitting the horn. The blaring sound ripped through the night like a scream. The thief panicked. "Damn it!" He stumbled back, cursing, before bolting into the shadows. Alana gasped, flinging open the door and running into the street. Michael sat frozen, heart pounding, watching her silhouette vanish into the dark. And yet, her face stayed with him. Those eyes, that flicker of hope buried under all the fear. Michael leaned back against the seat, whispering to himself, she didn't take a thing. But that wasn't true. She had taken something. Something he hadn't expected. Because Michael Parker, the man who had everything, knew in that moment he couldn't stop thinking about her. And he wouldn't. He kept coming back. Michael couldn't sleep that night. The sound of the horn still echoed in his ears, but louder than that was her face, Alana's eyes, wide with fear but soft with something else. Something human. Something that told him she wasn't what the street was trying to make her. The next evening, against his better judgment, he drove back. Same car, same street, though this time he rolled slower, careful, scanning the sidewalks. And there she was. Alana leaned against a lamppost, arms folded, pretending to be casual, but her body screamed exhaustion. She noticed the car first, and when her eyes recognized him, she straightened, pushing herself off the post. "You again," she said, a mix of surprise and suspicion. "You're either crazy or you're lost all over again." Michael opened the window. "Neither," he replied. "I was hoping to see you." Her eyebrows shot up. "People don't come back here hoping for anything. They come here 'cause they're desperate." He smiled faintly. "Maybe I am." For a moment, silence. Cars honked in the distance, a siren wailed a block away, and Alana just stared at him. Finally, she shook her head with a bitter laugh. "You don't belong here, rich boy. That car alone is worth more than my whole block." Michael leaned on the steering wheel, his voice low. "Last night, you could have taken everything from me. My wallet, my watch, even the car keys. But you didn't. Why?" Alana's lips tightened. Her eyes darted to the ground, then back to him. "Maybe I was stupid. Or maybe I'm just tired of being who they expect me to be." Michael's chest ached at her words. He pushed the door open. "Come on, let me buy you dinner." She snorted. "Dinner? You think that's gonna fix me? You don't know me, mister." "Then let me try," he said softly. The weight in his tone made her pause. For the first time, her sharpness softened. "Just dinner," she whispered, almost to herself. He nodded. "Just dinner." She slid into the car again, this time slower, with less fear. As the door shut, she glanced at him sideways. "You still never told me your name." "Michael," he said. "Michael Parker." "Michael Parker," she repeated, tasting the name like it was foreign. Then she gave a small, weary smile. "All right, Michael Parker. Don't make me regret this." The Mercedes pulled away from the curb, its headlights cutting through the broken streetlights. For the first time in a long time, Alana wasn't walking the streets. She was leaving them behind, even if only for a night. But deep inside, Michael knew this wasn't just about dinner. This was the beginning of something neither of them could explain. The restaurant was quiet, a small place on the edge of the city that Michael used when he wanted privacy. The kind of spot where no one asked questions, where the waiters knew how to vanish until you needed them. Alana sat across from him, shoulders stiff, her eyes scanning the room like she expected someone to jump out. The soft glow of the candles touched her skin, and Michael noticed how young she really was. Too young for the life she'd been forced into. "You can relax," he said gently. "Nobody here's gonna hurt you." She gave a hollow laugh. "You don't know my world. Even when it looks quiet, something's always waiting to happen." Michael leaned forward, resting his elbows on the table. "Then tell me about your world." For a while she said nothing. She just picked at the edge of the menu with chipped nails, her jaw tight. Finally, her voice broke through, low and raw. "My mama worked 2 jobs. She got sick, and the bills kept stacking. I was 17, and I thought maybe if I went out there, I could keep the lights on, maybe even buy her medicine." Her lips trembled. "But she died anyway, and by then I was already stuck. Once you start, they don't just let you walk away." Michael's chest tightened. He whispered, "I'm sorry." Her eyes flicked up, sharp. "Don't be sorry for me. Just don't look at me like I'm broken. I hate that look." He held her gaze. "I don't think you're broken, Alana. I think you're still fighting." Something in her expression cracked, just for a second. Then she quickly hid it behind a smirk. "You talk pretty, Michael Parker. Bet you tell all the girls that." He shook his head. "No, just the ones who make me feel something." For the first time, Alana smiled, not the forced, painted-on smile she wore on the street, but a small, vulnerable one. Before the moment could deepen, the bell over the restaurant door jingled. Michael turned his head slightly. 2 men walked in, rough-looking, scanning the room in a way that made his stomach drop. Alana's body went rigid. She gripped her water glass, so tight her hand shook. "We need to go," she whispered. Michael frowned. "Do you know them?" Her voice trembled now. "Yeah, they know me. And if they see me here with you, it won't end good." Michael sat back, his mind racing. For the first time, he realized this wasn't just a chance encounter. Alana wasn't just a woman on the wrong street. She was trapped in a life that would kill her if she tried to escape. He glanced at her, then at the men, then back at her again. "Stay calm," he murmured. "I won't let anything happen to you." Alana's eyes locked with his, wide and desperate. And for a split second, she believed him. The 2 men stepped deeper into the restaurant, their boots heavy against the wooden floor. One of them, tall with a scar that cut through his eyebrow, let his eyes sweep across the tables. The other, stocky and jittery, whispered something under his breath. Alana's hand slid under the table, gripping Michael's wrist so tight it almost hurt. "Don't look at them," she murmured, her voice barely audible. "Just keep your eyes on me." Michael obeyed, but he could feel their presence pressing in. His instincts screamed at him. This wasn't just coincidence. These men weren't here for a meal. The taller man finally noticed Alana. His lips curled into a slow, ugly grin. Well, he said loud enough for the whole place to hear. "If it ain't little Alana, all dressed up like she's somebody now." Alana flinched. Her nails dug into Michael's skin. Michael straightened in his seat, his voice calm but firm. "She's with me." The stocky one laughed, sharp and cruel. "Oh, we see that. Rich boy thinks he can save her. You got no idea what you stepped into." The waiter froze near the counter, uncertain. The other customers kept their heads down, pretending not to notice. Nobody wanted trouble. Michael kept his tone steady. "We're just having dinner. Leave us alone." The scarred man leaned on the edge of their table, close enough that Michael could smell the stale cigarette smoke on his jacket. "Thing is, she don't belong to you. She belongs to the street. And the street don't like when property goes missing." Alana's voice cracked as she whispered, "Please just go. Don't make this worse." Michael's jaw tightened. "She's not property. She's not yours. And you need to walk away. Now." The men exchanged a look. Then, in one sudden motion, The scarred one reached for Michael's jacket, his hand going for the inside pocket. But Michael was faster. His hand slammed against the table, rattling the glasses, his voice cutting like steel. "Don't." For a moment, everything froze. The tension snapped in the air, like a wire pulled too tight. Then Alana, desperate, leaned forward and whispered urgently into Michael's ear. "Please, let's just go. You don't understand. If they mark you, they won't stop." Her eyes glistened, begging. Not for herself this time, but for him. Michael looked at her, really looked, and felt something shift inside him. This wasn't just about one night anymore. It was bigger. It was about saving her before the streets swallowed her whole. He stood slowly, his hand guiding Alana up beside him. His voice was low, controlled. "We're leaving." The scarred man smirked, stepping back just enough to let them pass, but his eyes burned with promise. "Go ahead, rich boy. But this ain't over. Not by a long shot." As Michael led Alana out into the cool night air, she was shaking. She pressed her hand against her chest like she was trying to keep her heart from bursting out. "Why did you do that?" she asked, her voice trembling. "You should have left me the moment you saw me again. Now you're in it too." Michael looked at her, his expression soft but unshakable. "Because you're worth it, and I don't walk away." For the first time, Alana's tears fell, silent, heavy, unstoppable. And Michael knew he had crossed a line he could never return from. They walked quickly down the street, Michael's hand still guiding Alana's, as if letting go meant she might vanish. The cool night air couldn't erase the heat of the confrontation inside. Alana's breath came uneven, her heels clicking against the pavement. When they reached the car, she pulled her hand away and spun to face him. "You don't get it, Michael," she said, her voice cracking. "Those men, they don't forget. They'll follow you. They'll follow me. And they'll hurt you just to prove a point." Michael leaned against the car, his eyes fixed on her. "Then let them come." Her eyes widened, stunned at his calm. "You think this is some business deal you can outsmart? It's not. These people don't play by rules. They don't care about money, not when it's about control." Michael exhaled, his voice softer now. "Then tell me how to help you. Tell me what you need." For a moment, she said nothing. Her hands shook as she rubbed her arms, the night wind lifting strands of her hair. Finally, she whispered, I just need to be free. I've been dreaming of it for years. But every time I get close, something drags me back." Michael stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Maybe this time you won't be alone." Alana's eyes locked onto his. There was fear there, but also something else, something she hadn't let herself feel in a long time. Hope. Before either of them could say more, the sound of tires screeched from down the block. A black SUV slowed, its tinted windows rolling down just enough for a shadowed face to peek out. Alana's breath hitched. "It's them." Michael's jaw tightened. He reached for her hand again. "Get in the car." She hesitated. "Michael." "Now." His tone was firm, protective, leaving no room for argument. They climbed into the Mercedes. Michael started the engine, pulling into traffic as the SUV followed at a distance. The streets blurred by, neon lights flashing across the windshield. Alana sat rigid in the passenger seat, her voice a trembling whisper. "You should drop me off. They don't care about you, they care about me. If you leave me, you'll be safe." Michael glanced at her, his hands gripping the wheel. "I told you, I don't walk away." The SUV closed in, headlights glaring in the rearview mirror. Michael's pulse raced, but his voice stayed steady. "Hold on," he muttered. The engine roared as he pressed harder on the gas, weaving through the late-night traffic. Alana clutched the seatbelt, tears streaking down her face, not just from fear, but from something deeper. Because for the first time, someone was running with her, not from her. Michael's Mercedes tore through the streets, the SUV tight on his tail. Horns blared, tires screeched, and for a moment it felt like the whole city was holding its breath. Alana clutched the seat, her voice breaking. "They won't stop, Michael. They'll chase us forever." Michael's eyes narrowed on the road ahead. "Not if I end it tonight." At the last second, he swerved down a narrow alley, the SUV struggling to follow. Sparks flew as its bumper scraped the brick wall. Michael shot out the other side, heart pounding, and sped toward the main road where the glow of a police cruiser flashed in the distance. He slammed the horn, the sound cutting through the night. The cruiser turned, its lights erupting in blue and red, sirens screaming. The SUV behind them braked hard, then reversed, vanishing back into the shadows. Michael finally slowed, pulling the car to stop at the curb. His hands shook against the wheel. For a moment, the only sound was Alana's uneven breathing. Then she whispered, tears slipping down her cheeks. Why would you risk all that for me? You don't even know me." Michael turned to her, his voice low but steady. "I know enough. I know you don't belong in that life. I know you're stronger than the streets. And I know I couldn't forget you if I tried." Alana covered her face, her shoulders trembling. When she looked back at him, her eyes were different, not just afraid, but alive with something fragile, something dangerous. Hope. She whispered, almost to herself, "No one's ever said that to me before." Michael reached across the console, gently taking her hand. "Then let this be the first time. And not the last." The sirens faded in the distance, the city noise creeping back in. But inside the car, it felt like a new beginning. Because Michael Parker, the man who thought he had everything, had found something he never expected in the most broken place. And Alana, the girl who thought she had nothing, saw in him the chance for more. That night, as they drove away from the danger, both of them knew the truth. They could never go back to who they were before they met.